Hello, friends. Today we have with us Shlok, and he's former Indian badminton champion. Hello, Shlok. Thank you so much for joining us, and it's our pleasure to invite you.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure to be on the show.
Thanks. Like everyone is like eager to know why exactly have you left the sport at such an early career? I mean, such an early stage of your career.
It wasn't an easy decision for sure. I turned 25 this year. I've been playing the sport ever since I was 7, so it's almost 18 years of my life. I've sacrificed a lot. I always felt that I wanted to, study as well, but I never really got the opportunity because I started doing well in my badminton career. I've been away from my family for the longest of time now. Single child. I moved out of my house when I was 16. So it's almost 9-10 years that my parents have been living alone. Also for the fact that the funding for the B team had stopped. There wasn't any funding given to me and Arjun, and there was only funding to the top players who are in the top 20. And I just felt that if at 25, 26 I am paying money from my own pocket to go out and play international tournaments, it just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
At some point of time, the equipment contract, which we have from Yonex, they would, start paying us less. As our age progresses, if we are not in the top 20, they're not going to pay us the same money.
Right.
So there is no incoming of money right now. So we didn't have private sponsors. So it was a difficult decision, but I just couldn't continue to pay out of my own pocket. I don't come from a family of Birlas and Ambanis, I had to take that call. I always wanted to explore something more than badminton. I just didn't want to be, known as Shlok, the badminton player. I wanted to explore myself. I felt that this was a good time at 25, 26, if I could go out, if I could venture out, I could branch out and just, explore myself, what else I can do apart from badminton. Because I felt at 25, 26, my career was getting stagnated. I felt that I wasn't moving ahead. So I just felt that, the sacrifice wasn't worth it. It is a decision which not everybody understands. But it is something which, ultimately I felt. I didn't want to have that regret even after playing 3-4 years that ki boss Shlok to agar ye 25 mein tu ye karta to cheezein alag hoti. I didn't want that regret. So yeah, I'm really happy with my decision. And now that this year has almost gone to a complete waste, I feel that I took the right call. That time will obviously tell if I took the right call, but at least for now I feel I've made the right decision.
Right. But was it like if during the career, like at the age of 21, 22, you might have received, if you had received any sponsorship from any external client, you might have continued, or was it like, okay, now this is the best decision?
I was with Go Sports. I think I was very fortunate that Go Sports was supporting me and Arjun. From I think when I was 21 till about 24, 25, they were with me. More than a private sponsor, I felt that the association could have done a little bit more. Early on in our career, when me and Arjun, started breaking into the world circuit, that time the rule was that you have to be in the top 50 of the world to get funding.
Right.
That's when me and Arjun played our best badminton. That's when we played the quarterfinals of the Swiss Open. We played the round of 16 at the Badminton Asia Championship. We played the quarterfinals at the Australian Open. So that's when we were doing really well. And so what happens is that once that funding is taken away from you, and you are taking money from Go Sports. Obviously, Go Sports, is funding a lot of athletes. So we have got a fixed budget.
Right.
So then you are booking your own tickets. You are basically on a budget. You are not staying in the official hotel. You are staying in an Airbnb. You are looking out for transport. And that constant thought of whenever you're playing, saying that ki boss mein haar gaya to paise waste. It shouldn't come. Ideally, in an ideal scenario, if you are in the top 50 of the world, you should be funded. All you should be thinking is about your performance on court.
Right.
But that wasn't the case with us. I remember we were playing at the Azerbaijan Open in 2019.
Right.
We were playing the semi-finals.
Mm-hmm.
So our tickets were always booked on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened? Normally Sunday is the finals day, but in Azerbaijan, due to a power failure on one of the days, the semi-finals and the finals were shifted on one day.
Okay.
So we were playing. So our flight was at 5 o'clock in the evening, and we were playing our men doubles semi-finals at 11:30 a.m.
Okay.
And back of the mind, if we lost, obviously, back of the mind, we were thinking that what if we win? Then we'll have to change tickets. We'll have to do this. We'll have to do that.
Right. That pressure is always there.
That pressure is always there. But if you are a part of the Indian team, in the moment you are playing the match on the same day, the association by default changes your ticket.
Right.
Like if I know I'm playing on Sunday and my ticket is on Sunday, on Saturday night itself the ticket will be changed to Monday, and the hotel reservation will move to a day ahead.
Right.
But that doesn't happen when you are paying on your own. So what I have felt, and this is what I believe, is that if you are in the top 50 of the world, so I'm not. My whole point with the association was that I'm not asking you to fund all top 100 players. Don't do that. I get that you want to keep a threshold, keep that.
Yeah.
But your current bandwidth is you are only going to support players in the top 25, top 30. You name me the number of players in the history of Indian badminton who've made it to the top 30. It's a handful of players, not a lot of players.
Right.
But you have players, but it is not a lot of players. So the whole point was you keep it top 50. Okay, we have that motivation then to come into the top 50 by your own money. But then we know that once you're in the top 50, you're playing Grand Prix Gold and Super Series. We are getting the funding. I remember when we were world number 33, and then this rule came that top 30 funding came and the funding just stopped. And that's when we moved back to number 40. I was in the 30s and the 40s for my entire career in the past 3 years. Private sponsors, I do understand that private sponsors will only come into the picture if you get into the top 25 of the world. But I felt the association could do a lot more to the A-team players. They are doing enough for the Chirags and the Satwiks and the Pranoy and the Shrikant. But what about the B team? What about the bench strength? A model which is followed so well with the BCCI. They are making. I understand they have a lot of money, but it is what they are doing with the India A teams, with the B teams, with the under 19 teams. It is a progression. That's why you see a big bench strength, right? Similarly, with the Korean national team, with the Chinese national team, you have a bench strength. You are not thinking that who's going to replace. It's not going to be the question is not who. The question is just when.
Right.
So there are a number of players. Just a matter of when, rather than who's going to do it.
Right.
It is just a factory of players, and I felt with the way the badminton in India was progressing, we should have been at that stage by now.
Right. So
at 2012, we got our first medal at 2012. And still we are struggling to look for players after finance Sindhu. So I feel, in my humble opinion, that the association could be doing a lot more than they are actually doing.
Right. So, what kind of activities are you involved in after you left the game?
I just retired early in February, very early. I was a consultant with a sports management firm called Professional Management Group. The director is Sunil Gavaskar. I was on a 4-month probation, but because of COVID, they couldn't really afford my salary post my probation, and so I'm not with them right now. Once the lockdown opens up, I'll probably work for another sports management firm. Apart from that, I always wanted to go to B school. That was one of my dreams apart from badminton, and so I'm working on my GMAT. I am also working on a podcast with my friend and my senior Tanvila. It's called the Millennial Athlete, and which is on Spotify and Apple Podcast, where we are trying to get stories from all of these players so we can inspire the next generation of athletes, not just badminton players, to come to take up the sport and hopefully take Indian sport, just get in the numbers. The more the numbers, the more chance of you getting champion players. If you get 10 players, you'll only get 2 champions. But if you get thousands of players, there's a possibility you might get 50 champions.
Yes.
So it's trying to get the number. Obviously, at some point of time, I would also like to mentor a few kids in Mumbai at least. I don't think I have the kind of resources to open up an academy in a place like Mumbai. I don't think I have the resources. But I can definitely mentor a few kids. I'm open to players from Maharashtra who would want to come in and do a one-on-one session with me. Just basic insight, what I can tell them that this is what will make you move to the next level. Something like a mentor kind of a role, like a one-on-one to one-on-two kind of a thing, which is some I feel I can do justice to that kind of role, but I don't think I am well equipped to run a full-fledged academy as of now.
Right. So how it is like when you see yourself away from the sport?
Actually, to be really honest, I don't miss the sport. To be honest, I miss the people more than the sport. I mean, even if you look at Andre Agassi's biography, it is like if you do something for multiple years, it eventually becomes a job. So the fun element goes out once it becomes professional. Once the money starts getting involved, it doesn't, it's not fun anymore. So the top athletes who are doing really well, for them it's still fun. That is why they're doing so well. For me, the fun part just went off. Right. So it was more like a job. I would work extremely hard. I can say this with utmost pride, saying that I was probably one of the hardest workers at the National Center. I don't really miss the sport, to be really honest. I feel everything else is so much easier. I miss my friends. I miss my mentors. I miss talking to Parupali Kashyap. I miss talking to HS Prannoy. I miss talking to Arjun. I still talk to them on phone or on text. But just being in that company, just talking to them, stuff apart from badminton. Because I've learned so much from them. I've learned so much from Kashyap. I've learned so much from Prannoy. I've learned so much from Pranav Chopra. They've been mentors to me. Just not in badminton, just in life basically. I miss interacting with my coaches sometimes. Pradnya Gadre, who's had my back for the last 2 years ever since in the national. So I miss the people more than the sport. I'm still very active on Twitter. I still try to go out on a limb for the players who need support. I know my voice isn't that substantial, but in my blogs I'm continuing to write how India could become a powerhouse in world badminton if these measures are followed. So at some point of time, if in the next 10 or 15 years, if I become successful and if I make enough money for myself, I would like to support some of the kids who can't really go out and play international badminton, because international badminton is expensive. I'm telling you, it is not easy. Badminton as a sport is not easy. So at some point in time, I would like to give it back to the game. But to answer your question, more than the sport, I miss the people, because I've lived with them for 9 years of my life. They've been my family away from my family.
Right. So you have been 12-time national champion in the senior ranking badminton championships. You have won 12 times.
I've won 12 All India senior ranking.
Yeah. So how is that feeling like? Is it like still popping in like sometimes during the day that I was like 12 times and or just it's just memories? That's it. I mean, it's not kind of giving you a nostalgic moment for you during the day.
I do get nostalgic. It is, I still have my photos in my phone, and whenever I talk to my colleagues and my doubles partner, especially when I talk to Arjun and Sayam Shukla, who have had like the major part, the most success I've had is with them. So when I look back at them, I have won 12 All India senior ranking tournaments. Obviously, I've done that. But more than that, I just go back and think to myself that when I was 7 or when I was 8, as a young kid, I was starting out to play at Goregaon Sports Club. And if if somebody from the future would come and tell me that, hey, kid, you'll eventually go on to win 12 All India Senior Ranking tournaments, you'll play the Thomas Cup, you'll play the Asian Badminton Championship, you'll be at the national camp for 9 years. Would you be satisfied? I would probably end up laughing. Like, क्या बोल रहा है? At that point of time, it was just कि यार अपने स्कूल के लिए एक मेडल जीत जाओ.
Right.
So it is that I feel proud. It's not that I don't feel proud of my achievements. I feel that with my skills and my ability, if this was my band, I extended it to this much. And yeah, obviously I do feel nostalgic. Whenever I watch my YouTube matches, I feel nostalgic. I watch my Thomas Cup matches, I feel nostalgic. But yeah, I do miss those times. It feels like it was yesterday, right? Like I could go back to the situation serving on a 1918, think that this happened.
Right.
At 1918, and once you lose a match, you could always say that कि यार अगर ये मैं ऐसा खेलता तो चीज़ अलग होती.
Right.
Yeah, that still comes, but yeah, only happy memories. No sad memories. So yeah, only happy. I do feel nostalgic from time to time, obviously, because playing for the country at the Thomas Cup was a dream of mine, and I did play that. It was my dad's dream, and I did play that.
Right.
So yeah, I do get nostalgic from time to time. I do.
Right. So standing on that podium, someone is like giving you that medal. How is that like moment like? I mean, what kind of feelings you get? Like, what kind of thoughts are running?
I mean, I remember when we won our first international title at the Iran International Challenge. I remember we beating two Indonesian pairs, one in the semis and one in the finals. So with their two flags on the side and the Indian flag going up, that was the first time where I actually heard the national anthem in another country. Even though it was at the challenger level, it is just a different feeling. You get goosebumps.
Yeah.
It is just a feeling that you've contributed something small to the country. The thing is that be it any tournament, once you go out and win an international tournament, you're doing it on foreign land. You're out of your comfort zone.
Right.
So it gives you a small feeling of satisfaction. It gets that patriotism under you. And when you see that flag going up, it is not easy to kind of explain my emotions, but it is just that 1 minute you just feel so proud, and you just feel that you've given something back to your country. It is nowhere close to what our defense is doing, what the police and what the army is doing. It is nothing close to it, but it just feels that we've given something back to a country in a completely different field. So you do feel proud. You feel goosebumps on your hand, and you feel like ठीक है, कुछ तो किया है. You feel that you feel content out of everything.
Right. So who, according to you, was the best support when you were into the badminton? Like, Arjun was there. Who other than him, like he supported throughout your badminton career?
I mean, to start off, it was my parents. My mom and dad. My dad, basically, in terms of badminton, I feel he sacrificed a lot. He sacrificed his business, just so that he could travel with me all the time. Back then in under 13 and under 16, the flight tickets were very expensive, and we used to go on train. We would go to Cochin, we would go to Chennai, and I would lose in the qualifications very early. But my dad would make sure I would stay for the remainder of the tournament, so I could see and learn.
Right.
It's a lot of money, It's a lot of money. It's about almost 35,000 on a single tournament.
Right. During
the 10th standard, where a lot of my peers dropped out, my dad continued to support me. He said that I see a future. I know you are losing in the qualifiers, you're losing in the first, second round, but I feel that eventually you will grow, you will get stronger, and you will play well. It paid off. In under 16, I came through the qualifiers. I started playing quarterfinals, semi-finals. I made my move to the Prakash Padukone Academy, and that's where things started changing. I played the under 17 Asian Juniors, then I played the under 19 Juniors, and there on and went. So yeah, initially it was my dad and my mom. My mom always, because for my mom, that balance was always there. It was always Shlok the son and then the Shlok the badminton player. There was always a very neutral point of view, irrespective if I win a tournament, if I lose a tournament, my mom would treat me the same.
Right.
And unlike most of the world, where if I would win a tournament, I would be a king, and if I would lose a tournament, I would be trolled on Twitter.
Right.
That which happened later on in my career. But the mom would always give that sense of a neutrality. That I'll always be neutral. So my mom and dad, my extended family. At times when I struggled for money, for sponsorship. My family from the States, my mom's side, they gave me money. My Peripa and my Perima, they sent me money. My dad's friends, his marketing friends, they came, they chipped in the money. So these were the extended family in terms of my badminton career. The people who supported me was, I think, Pradnya Gazre had a very strong influence on me. She was former women's doubles national champion. Almost like a sister-like figure to me. Pranav Chopra was always there. Parupalli Kashyap and HS Pranoy were like the closest. I was closest as a junior to them. They would always give me wisdom at any point of time. Sayyam obviously was my best friend. He was my partner and my best friend, so I would constantly look up to him.
Right.
Arjun, I had a different kind of a relationship with Arjun because when we started off, I was a senior, but still Arjun, was a very big part of my life, and because we spent so much time together, we had that bond eventually. So all of these players in general, obviously I had a lot of support from Go Sports Foundation. I felt that no matter what, they always had my back, and I feel what they are doing for Indian sports is something remarkable.
Right.
And I hope that someday I can be a part of Go Sports Foundation and even help as much as I can. So all of them were like my big support system, and they like really helped me move through. A lot of my seniors, a lot of my peers, in my dormitory, I had a very special bond with one of my juniors, Roman Kapoor.
Right.
I had my friend called Arun George, who I stayed him right from our PPPA days in Bangalore. So when you're away from your family, all of your friends and your mentors come into play. All of them like really helped me out.
Right. So after leaving badminton, you might have designed your routine, and at the same time this lockdown came in. So how is your current routine like?
I mean, before the lockdown, I would, for me, I just love being fit. I've put in so much work in my body that I can't let it go away. So in generally, I would make sure I would get a workout, post my work. This was pre-lockdown. So normally before pre-lockdown, my office hours were 9 to 6. So I would get up, I would take the train, I would go to Prabha Devi, I would work over there, I would come on my way back because I'm a member at Goregaon Sports Club. Thrice a week I would go to the gym, and because I love playing squash so much, because I played squash in the under 13, but then I have to choose badminton. So now I play a lot of squash. So I would play a lot of squash, and then I would come back, sit with mom, sit with dad, have a little, spend some time, and then study for my GMAT. Okay, so now that the lockdown has begun, so generally till now it used to be, I generally get up a little late on most days. I then from in the afternoon till last month I was working from home. I was working on a couple of projects of mine. Followed by that I would work out. From about 1.5 hours I would work out. I would come back, I would have some dinner, I would chill for a while, and then from about 9 to 12:31 I would like religiously try to study. And then about 1:30 I would watch a little bit of Netflix. I would binge watch something, and by the time I would sleep it would be like 2:30. Because I would study till late at night, I would wake up a little late, but not during pre-lockdown. Pre-lockdown I'll make sure that I'm up by about 6:37.
Right. So this podcast that you have started, how it is like once in a week, once in 2 days, 3 days?
Yeah. So the podcast release dates are on Wednesdays and Saturdays. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcast, on my Instagram page. We've got the Instagram page called the Millennial Athlete. No, every Tuesday and Wednesday we put out the link on our bio and our story, and that's how you could see. And it remains. You could obviously, once it's released, it's already there on the page. But the new episodes come on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Right.
But the earlier episodes are still there. So, yeah, it will continue to be there.
As you said that like people have always surrounded you. So what kind of people you like to get surrounded by? Like someone like very introvert, kind of very extrovert, or somewhere in between, the fusion of two? What kind of people you like to be surrounded by?
I mean, when I was younger, I was a complete introvert. I could never go and start a conversation. Complete introvert. I still feel I'm not the most social person. I'm getting better, obviously, now. But I've had a mixed bag of people around me. I've got somebody like Rohan Kapoor, who's like the ultimate extrovert, to somebody like an Arun George, who's like an unbelievable, Arjun, for that matter, who's an introvert. So it's a mix of people to be around with. Obviously, I would like to be with extrovert so that my social skills get better.
Right.
That's where I whenever we go out for dinner, I would tell Rohan to tag. I would tag along with Rohan, saying that because he's got such good social skills, I could go and talk.
Right.
But more than that, I feel that generally I would like to be around positive people.
Right.
People, I had this extremely sick habit of whining a lot, which is something which I've overcome in the past couple of years. I would whine ye kyu, wo kyu, ye kyu, things which are not in my control. So Parupalli Kashyap one day came and told me that, boss, why are you whining about things which are not under your control? Stop whining. But that's it. The day he told me that, boss, stop whining, that was the last time I whined. Like it occasionally hota hai, but it's not as bad as it was. So yeah, so just being around people who are positive, and just trying to get a silver lining of everything has a silver lining. So yeah, right now I could be all depressed saying that badminton, I've lost my job, but I do know that good things are there.
There is something always coming to you.
Exactly. So as my mom would always say that jo bhi hota hai achhe ke liye hota hai. Like if not for this lockdown, I would have probably been in the States because there was supposed to be a course at Dartmouth University which I was selected to. So I would have been there and the Millennial Athlete wouldn't have started. So my mom would always say ki beta jo bhi hota hai achhe ke liye hota hai. So yeah, basically just being around positive people, I feel that you become the people you hang out with. That's why the whole idea of getting good grades in 10th and 12th is to go to a good college so that you've got good people around.
Right.
That is the whole point, right? Why do people want to go to Harvard? Why do people want to go to Stanford? Because it is the cream of the cream, right? It is the best of the best. People who quote 740, 750 in the GMAT, like the best in the business are over there. Same way in badminton. Why do you want to go to a Gopi Chand Academy? Why do you want to get selected to a Prakash Padukone Academy? Is that because the best players in India are there? You get to learn. You feed off from there. I have always maintained saying that getting into a Gopi Chand Academy or a Prakash Padukone Academy is as tough as getting into an IIM or an IIT. Right. For the outsiders, they feel that अरे क्या मस्त जिंदगी है, मतलब तेरी क्या मस्त जिंदगी है, you go, you travel, that's all from the outside. We know the kind of pressure we face.
Right.
In studies you have this advantage that if you put in the hard work, if you put in so much, you are going to get the score.
Right.
In badminton, how hard you work, you still don't have, you will still go and lose the first round.
Right.
So people don't really sometimes understand the life of a sportsman. It's the kind of pressure. Like that's why even though I feel cricket as a sport, I don't feel it's a very challenging sport. But the respect I have for Indian cricketers is so much because it's just the kind of expectations they have on themselves. Somebody like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, when they go on to bat, crores and crores of people are expecting them to go on and hit a century every match.
Yes.
And to be a captain of a country where you've got a billion critics. Everybody's ready to just criticize you.
Yeah.
And you are handling the pressure, and more than that, you are thriving under the pressure.
Right.
You are going out, you're performing every single match. So I feel in terms of that, what the cricketers achieve in terms of their mental strength, I feel Virat Kohli is, hands down one of the most toughest sportsmen I've come across to.
Right.
Along with Saina Nehwal. So if you would ask me that who is the most toughest sporting personality in India, male and female, I would probably say in male it's Virat Kohli, and in female it's Saina Nehwal.
Right.
This would be my answer. So it is just the ability to thrive under pressure, right? That is what makes them special.
Right. Right. So let's move from profession to some personal questions. So one of the questions, like so lockdown period has brought something new in our life. Like some people started cooking, some people started like you said that you started with podcasts, like us, we started with this chat Adda. So everyone has started something or the other. So for you, one is podcast. So do you like cooking, and have you tried anything in this lockdown?
I mean, I'm a decent cook. I wouldn't say I'm a master chef, but I'm a decent cook. I can go on record saying that I make the world's best grilled cheese sandwich.
Okay.
Amateur grilled cheese sandwich. I do like cooking. I do cook every now and then. I do enjoy it. But yeah, I've learned a few things. I've learned a few fancy things. One thing which I don't know at all is baking.
Okay.
And because my mom is now in the States, because she's gone to visit her sister in the States, if she would have been here now with me, I would have probably learned that as well, because she is an expert at baking. That is one thing I missed out on this lockdown is baking, because my mom is there, and once my mom comes, I would definitely lockdown, no lockdown, I would definitely try to learn the art of baking. But yeah, I do enjoy cooking. And I can manage myself,
Right.
I can cook, I can live by myself. Yeah.
Right. So what kind of cuisines you like usually? What kind of cuisines you prefer?
I am extremely flexible with food. I like anything and everything, but I love Japanese food.
Okay.
I love sushi, I love katsu curry. I love good Indian food. I like that typical, butter chicken and butter naan. And I love biryani. Biryani is something which I can have any time of the day. I'm not a very big fan of Chinese food. I can have it, but I'm not a very big fan of Chinese. I love Thai food. I love Lebanese food. I love the shawarma. I love the hummus. And so yeah, in terms of food, I like basically anything and everything. I love because I'm Mallu. I'm half Mallu. I love the Kerala cuisine. I love the Malayali cuisine as well. So in terms of food, if we have this conversation, it will probably go on till night if I try to list down. So let's just put an answer to that I love mostly everything. But if you ask my favorite cuisines, it is probably Indian, Italian, and Japanese.
Right. Okay. So the next thing is, like, if I am free, if I see you free, like if I see Shlok free, then where is he? Like, he's sleeping, or he's out with friends, or he's just going for binge watching, or say TV dekh rahe ho, ya fir you will like to do some creative thing, like doing some painting or doing something like that.
I am the worst artist ever. For every year in my art exam, I would draw the scenery, and my only variation would be that if in the first year I've made the round circle as the sun, in the second year it would come in the mountain.
In the mountains.
That is the closest I can come to art. I cannot paint. Yesterday I was playing Pictionary with my friends online, and I came last in every game. I'm the worst at it. I love playing the PlayStation 4. I'm a huge FIFA fan. I'm a huge Chelsea fan. We have this banter with all of our friends. We've got this group on WhatsApp called the SPL group.
Okay.
Where Kashyap is a United fan, I'm a Chelsea fan, Pranav Chopra is a United fan, Pranav is a Barcelona fan. There's this banter going on every time. But apart from that, I love spending time with my friends. I've got a very close knit of friends. I don't have like a lot of friends in Mumbai. I've started to make a few now, but my close knit friends are in Hyderabad. I just would on weekends when I was back home, I would just, on weekends just go out on dinner with them, go out and chill with them. I know time just passes by. And apart from that, if I'm at home, you would probably, if I want to chill, I would probably be watching something on Netflix or I would be playing on my PlayStation 4. And then most probably I'll be playing FIFA with my career mode with my team Chelsea. So that is where you will mostly see me.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right. Okay. So, what do you think? Like, there are few positives about this show that we are trying to bring in. Like, we are trying to bring in more athletes who are connected with grassroots level. Okay, so that is what our idea is. So we are trying to bring in like someone younger from the younger generation. We are trying to bring in from the mid part like you, and we also had a conversation with someone like Arundhati ma'am. So she's at, you can say, at the top level now. Like once it's nearing her career, like a shutdown of you.
Arundhati is a coach now. So
Yeah. So we have even discussed with them, and if we go for cricket, then we had that flavor like start, mid, and end. We have done that also. So what kind of positives you think that might come like will help this Indian athletes from our show? What do you think?
First of all, it would if just for the neutrals, for somebody like wants to pick up the sport, they'll just try to understand the perspective. Basically, sometimes people think it's too easy. This would just, nothing in life comes easy.
Yeah.
So this would just give everybody an example. What do you have to do basically to reach at this level?
Right.
Like for me, like the sacrifices I made, for a 15-year-old leaving home from Mumbai wasn't easy. Going to a Bangalore wasn't easy. Right. So that's the kind of sacrifices which I made. So if you don't make any kind of sacrifices, you're not going to reach something.
Right.
So I think this show would just give a lot of insight to these kids on what is needed to be an elite player.
Right.
Forget an elite player. Forget playing the Thomas Cup. Just being a state champion.
Right.
Just the amount of work it takes.
Right.
It's not easy at all.
Right.
I feel this would send out a message that this is how you could look at things, and this is how if you want to start. Maybe if you talk to a younger kid, they would just say this is how I started playing badminton, and then
Right.
become serious. So I feel this would give out a positive message to all those young aspiring kids, saying that if I want to do this, this is the way forward. It is not
Right.
time pass.
Right.
मतलब ऐसे ही कोई ऐसे ही बन नहीं जाता player.
Right.
Like players like Saina Sindhu are once in a decade kind of player. Like if you look at Mumbai in the past 10 years, in boys, there have been only 4 Thomas Cup players. It's
Right.
Anand Pawar, it's Ajay Jairam, it's Chirag Shetty, and it's me.
Right.
In the past 20 years, there have been only 4.
Right.
So you could say once in 5 years maybe. That's the kind of the hard work, determination you need to move forward in the sport, not in sport, just in life. I think this would give a positive message to all them. I wish you all the luck. I wish you I give you all the best wishes. I hope that you go out and you could reach out to 1,000 and 1,000 and 1,000 of kids, and if it makes an impact even on 1 and 2, I feel that you've done your job.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And my last question would be like, nowadays we have seen that parents are pressurizing students like to opt for multiple things at a time. Okay, I've seen that. And there was a situation, I would say, that when I was in school, I was given a chance that you select what you want. Okay, and nowadays, since there are lot of things that students need to do, like they are going for art class, they are going for sports, they are going for studies, they are going for many other stuff. So what kind of message do you want to send across? Because I think that there is equal importance that should be given. Like for us, when I was a kid, my parents gave me equal importance, that they said, okay, you need to go out, you need to play. Outdoor games are much more important than indoor games. Okay, indoor games are important, but that connects you with your family, with your friends. But outside things are much more important for you. But nowadays, like schools, colleges, and all those things are so much tied up. Students are so much tied up. They're not able to concentrate on one thing. So, what kind of message do you pass on? Will you pass on to parents?
I mean, this is something which I've been very vocal about, is the amount of pressure the parents are putting on the kids. Uh, I've been part of the national center, and I've seen parents, leaving their offices and sitting in the national camp in front of their 12, 13-year-old kids, and just constantly pressurizing कि ये करना है, वो करना है, this and that. You cannot. A Saina Nehwal or a Sindhu is not made overnight.
Right.
It takes years. It takes years. Not everybody, for that matter, not everybody becomes one.
Right.
Okay, your kid will only play to the capability she has. As simple as that. You can. Right. He's going to work hard. He'll continue to work hard, but eventually, if he's not a Saina Sindhu material, he's not. He will find success someplace else.
Right.
But you cannot continue to pressurize. You need to let the kid have fun. As 11, 12-year-old, if you are not having fun on court, because trust me, that fun goes out of the court when you're 19, 20 anyway.
Right.
Those are the years you are going to have fun at 11, 12. So I would encourage parents, just let the kids play. Just let them have fun. You you tell them, you inculcate the values of, hard work, of being a good human being, of sportsman spirit. That's what you should pressurize them. Then this is how you should do. But you don't pressurize them on that you should win, you should lose.
Yeah.
That is not right. And I've seen players struggle because of that. And then going into distraction because of that. Because there's just so much pressure. You have to blow off steam, right?
Right.
But you cannot take so much pressure. Coming to your other half of the question is that the whole smartphone generation, right? When we were young, we didn't have phones.
We didn't have.
I got my first phone. I was in 10th standard. I had a Moto Flip that didn't even have any games. That didn't have internet. I remember we used to get that SMS pack for 36 rupees.
Yes.
You get 100 SMS.
100 SMS.
Now with everything digitalized and WhatsApp and everything, it's very easy for kids to be at home and play PUBG and stuff. But I think it's very important for kids to just go out and play. Just play. I'm not even telling professionally.
Right.
अपने building में जाओ, just go play cricket, go play football, go cycle.
Right.
You cannot be confined to spaces at a very young age.
Right.
I would encourage a lot of these, the parents to like, कि अगर it's 4:35, give them a break from study. Just देंगे बेटा जाओ, 2 घंटा खेल के आओ. Go to us and just play. Right. I would remember like on summers, when we would have summer vacation, we would play cricket from 9 to 12, 12:30, and then we would feel so tired, we would sleep, and then again from 4 to 7 we are down. I would never be in the house.
Yeah.
And because of that, my skin would burn. One tone I would go dark.
Right.
But my parents would always say that go have fun. Like when I was growing up, I remember I was in a summer camp in Goregaon Sports Club. So because my dad was such a sports fanatic, I would start off with squash. I would start off with 8 to 9 of squash, 9 to 10 swimming, 10:30 to 12:30 of badminton, lunch, 3 to 4 cricket, 2 to 3 billiards, 3 to 4 cricket, 4 to 6 badminton, and then come back home.
Right.
I used to do that with my cousin, and
Right.
it would be so much fun. I would come back, have dinner by 7:30, and 8 o'clock, me and my cousin would be flat out. Like not even a
Right.
sound. We are on our bed and we have slept.
Right.
And then again we get up, and it was just so much fun.
Right.
So much fun. Yeah, I would take that any day over playing PUBG at home.
Right.
And just basically I encourage parents to
Right.
do not put a lot of pressure on kids, especially on 4th, 5th, 6th graders. Let them have fun. Teach them the good values, and I'm sure they will find their success
Right.
at at whatever field.
Mm.
One of my coaches whom I fondly remember, called Mr. Chandran sir. He would always tell me that Shlok, hard work never goes to waste.
Yeah.
If not in this field, you will get it somewhere.
Yes.
So I'm a firm believer of that. Just put in the values of doing hard work into your kid, and I'm sure your kid is going to be fine. If he's
Yes.
meant to be a Saina Nehwal, he will be a Saina Nehwal. She will be a Saina Nehwal. If he's meant to be an Abhinav Bindra, he'll be an Abhinav Bindra. So, yeah. So that is my final advice to the parents: not to pressurize and let the kids see.
Right. Thank you so much, Shlok, for joining us on Chat Adda. It was our pleasure to invite you, and possibly we will do the same in future whenever we get a chance. And all the best for your podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure talking to you. Good luck to you. Good luck to your new venture. And hopefully we shall talk soon.